Hey.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, or good morning, depending on where in the world you are watching the show. Cheers, everybody. I think I could do with a drink.
Or a good old elastic band wiggle. It's a winner.
It is. How are we all? We hope you guys are absolutely fantastic. We know we are.
We are.
We are.
Although it's rather warm in the studio today.
It is. It's
why
a positively balmy 23 degrees.
Keith needs a nap because
Yeah.
he's took those speech impediment mints.
Yes, also as well as that, I realised that there is a bit of a shady situation
I know why
going in the
that's
corner.
as well, because it went,
Yeah.
we go like this, we'll wave it away.
Yeah, wave that away.
Bye. That'll be back next week.
How has your week been?
Mine's been fantastic.
It has been a fantastic week. We've been full of busy. We hope you guys have been too, and not getting into too much trouble.
That's right. We've been busy because we've been forward planning for a three-parter.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
Stop.
yes, absolutely. So the next, we can just quickly say that the next 3 episodes
I'll just stop myself. 'cause-
yeah, but they're a joint kind of package. Kind of
yeah,
thing.
it's a 1, a 2, and a 3.
It is. It's a 1, 2, and a 3.
Stay
Yes,
tuned.
yes. You're going to enjoy that one.
We will.
So, what are we talking about tonight, Dom?
We are talking about weaving.
Don't stop the weaving.
Oh, we've sung for like the last, I don't know, several hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, we love this. We're actually going to be talking about.
A specific weave.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about tack weave.
The lost technique to Dom and Keith.
Yeah, what
No.
happens is it kind of comes around with us, right? It's one of these things that we won't use it for a
It's
long
like a
time.
personal on-trend thing, right?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it'll come back to us, and we'll use it a lot because we absolutely love
Everything
it. And we
we're
love
going to
the
make
effect.
for the next 6 months will be tack weave, and then it'll be gone again into the archives. until
Again,
we
yeah, be
remember.
lost for another year,
It
and then
came out of necessity
Yeah.
once again. That's why I love those tools, you know,
Yes.
those techniques that are in your toolbox that go, oh, we've got this particular task in hand, and we had one of those jobs recently,
Mm-hmm.
and the kind of the normal go-to garland or the normal go-to build wasn't going to be the right technique to give us the right style
Yeah.
for the scale that we were trying to achieve.
yeah. So yeah, and then the fact is that we use tack weave. And it's perfect. And what we're going to show you tonight is more about the technique. It's less about the actual designs.
Yeah,
you
it
guys
was
can
the
do
fact
the
that we could
designs.
fall back and go, actually, you know what, tack weave's the way to go for this. We did it for the job we needed, but then it spurred that conversation of, you know what, how many different versions of the tack weave are there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the colour combinations, the different layering, the different balloons. And if you've got no idea what we're on about, you've got the right episode.
Yes, stay tuned because we're going to show you. We're going to show you a few different variations on the tack weave, starting from the absolute basics and going to something a little bit more advanced. But you can go as far as you want, and at the end we'll show you something that
Why
somebody else
don't you
did. That
show
was,
them
I
one?
was going to do it later.
No, not that piece. One piece to show the people that have no idea what we're on about
Okay, right. So
the end result, if you like.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to start off with the absolute simplest. So should I do the completed one or should I do?
Complete one,
Complete
so
one,
they can see
okay.
the end result, so they're not guessing while you're making it.
Okay, here we go. Here is a completed version of the most basic version
Shiny.
of tack weave, which is using green chrome and the mauve 260Q chrome because
It's all about the chrome. About the chrome. Knew it was coming.
It is. In fact, we're going to demonstrate it again using the purple 260Q chrome and gold 260Q chrome because they look really nice together as the
This
mauve
is,
and the green.
again,
does.
you know, talking about combinations here, this could be done with all one colour, it could be done with 4 colours.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It could be, but think of it like a column, as in the colour sequences that you do in a
Yeah,
in
you
a
can
column.
get it. You can get it spiral. You can get it
Depths.
yeah, you can get like a chevron effect going backwards and forwards
Yeah,
across it.
and the more
get
you
all
kind of
sorts.
spend time-wise on the colour combinations, you can create kind of more layering of effects, which is great. But we're going to show you the technique and a couple of different colour options, and then you can go ahead and play.
Yes,
It's a
hello
fun
to
spot.
everybody over on Facebook as well there too. It's nice that we can get back on a Facebook. Hopefully we're going to be
Everywhere.
Yeah,
and
we're
you're
gonna
welcome,
be-
Rachel. That's
Yeah.
been in my head all day.
It is. It's been an
It's
yeah
all
with
about the chrome.
yes, and also don't stop the weaving.
stop
That's
the
the other
weaving.
one as well. You're going to have
Don't stop
the
weaving.
Right. Okay, we're going to get rid of that.
You twist, I drink, I'll get you a
Okay, I'll
bottle.
tell you what I could do with some sort of inflation equipment. What we're going to use tonight, Dom?
We're going to use the premium smart twist. Ta-da!
Yes, battery operated, battery powered.
And with a handy little dandy cutter
Cut
on the
there.
side.
He knows
Or
that's
the
my
front.
favourite bit. It's my
I was
favourite
going to
bit.
hide it.
Yeah,
I was. I thought,
yeah,
this
that would
episode
be bad.
depends on it.
Right, okay.
Although you don't really.
I don't.
need
I'm not
it.
going to use it on this one.
So you don't need the pump.
No, I want the pump. I just don't need the cutter. Thank you very much. Right, okay. Hello to people over there in California and in South Africa and wherever you may be.
Here,
It's
England.
in good old UK.
It's true.
Here we go. Yes, and if there's any Italian friends that are on here at the moment as well from the other night, well, I'm sure we'll talk to you guys eventually, but not right now.
Yeah. It's
Too soon. Too soon.
It's a little salt. Beautiful inflation.
Yes.
260 chrome.
No banding.
260Q chrome. I went to go 260 chrome. And this is
No,
Q.
260Q chrome because
Yeah.
it's all about the chrome. There we go. We'll inflate again.
I don't know why I'm watching it. I've seen this a million times.
Yeah, and then I'm softening the balloon down a
Very
bit and
important,
tying
that step.
together
Very,
together. You know how what's going to happen all night tonight.
Very important step, the softening of the balloon.
Yes.
Letting some air out because we need to weave this balloon
Yes.
and we need a bit of space. If it's too tight, it's going to be susceptible to burstage and we don't want that. See how these ones stretch though? They stretch a lot.
Oh, you dare.
But show our hands. Thumbs up for
No,
Mr. Q
don't even.
if we need to use.
Don't even.
This is like the encouragement balloon, okay? So we want to use the yellow balloon of encouragement. You give me a Mr. Q thumbs up in the chat.
No. The other thing as well that people will notice on the chat in YouTube as well, you guys actually you won't notice. You have to be a member now to chat in there, so we're going to have no stray messages from people just diving on the channel.
Mr. Random Straight messages.
Yeah, you'll have to have been a member for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, 6
to do it.
minutes, then you can insult us.
That's fine.
5 minutes is definitely.
You know us well enough to insult us by that
Oh,
point.
totally, I appreciate that.
Right, so we have 2 of the purple and we have 2 of the gold. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the purple there and I'm just going to let the other one sit on it like this, okay? So then...
Dead important point that, people. Remember
Yes.
that is... Who's gonna get it
It's not pushing inside, it's just sitting on top.
Most people's first layer starts off wrong on this.
Yeah.
And then they carry on correctly. It's make sure you don't cluster them together. It's not a 4 balloon cluster. It's 2 sets of 2 hovering over each other.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that to about the middle and then decide on the length. It wants to be, stop it. It wants to be, on this one I'm going to use about 4 fingers of width on there as a measurement guide. And I'm going to just twist that round a few times and have them sitting back on top of each other like this. And then we take the gold up there, and again it's about 4 fingers on there, and then we twist that around too.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
You want them the same size as you go up is a good thing.
And then we keep on going and twist.
Siri's not
Siri's
helping again.
not helping. And then we keep
really
it
wants
going.
to join in.
She does. I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down a bit. I don't want
so-
I don't want
let's
to
serious.
knock my cup of tea over as my thing.
I'm thinking more
I'm
about
not bothered
my
about hitting you. It's my knocking my
I'm
cup of tea
aware.
over.
I think the audience is well aware now of the abuse that I receive.
Excuse me, I was being threatened
I just stretched.
by violence.
It's not true. It's not true. Look at that. It's beautiful already.
And
And you're,
keep twisting.
getting that pattern because you did 2 purples together, 2
Yeah.
golds together. You could do a gold and a purple, or 4 colours.
Yeah, if I wanted this to turn around like this, what I would do is every time I would just go off to the side, but it wouldn't work because it's only a 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this one, it only ever goes
Unless
continue
you
this
do,
way. 1 purple and 1 gold.
Yeah, and then
on
you
per
get
layer.
It's a bit of a rough twist.
Yes.
But it does
But it would work.
go around.
Yes, like a carpenter would work.
It's a day of all the poor jokes, as opposed to
Anyway.
the really poor jokes.
We'll keep twisting.
We do. Do you need
Just
some
remember,
encouragement?
no, like just twist it again, like we did last summer.
See what I said?
Yeah,
The poor jokes on poor
exactly.
jokes. Siri, not necessary.
Yeah, Siri has just set a reminder in my phone, which will be random.
It'd be something like in like
About
2
next
months'
summer or
time,
something
about
like this.
Not twisting again.
Yeah.
Next summer. Yeah.
So we keep on going like this. and we keep on putting it on top of each other, and across it goes onto here, and again just lock them off, and we can keep going all the way through, but you end up with this lovely two colour effect.
You're not
in this
limited
case.
to the length of the 260Qs here as well. It's one
No.
of the very good techniques that you can do and then join
Yes.
seamlessly.
Yes.
It's a really good. We'll show a little bit later.
Yeah,
But-
well,
but
actually,
it-
we show the joint on
the
the next one.
capacity of the length of this is not necessarily dictated to by the length of the 260Q. And you can, in fact, as well change colour midstream as well. So if you want to change the banding for some reason, you can introduce new balloons of a different colour later. However, typically you join on to the same pattern because that's the beauty of this design of the coloration that you get. And so, but it is very easy to join. So you can make this of an infinite length. So great technique. And this particular one with the chrome, it's fantastic for. We've used it for like Princess Castle portcullis. So we've got some columns which kind of signify the doorway to a castle, and then we've got these draping down to a small column as well. So it gives a really very cool.
It's also
magical,
a good idea for chain work for an anchor as well. So
Yeah.
if you have a nautical theme, you can use this.
It will
as very
shape
simple chain
very
work for-
well as well. So if you want to wrap this around a column,
Yes.
you want to create it into a bit of a detail piece for a base. This is a great way to add detail onto something that's a bit more kind of bang for the buck, if you like. You know, we do some big columns, look great for a princess castle, but you put this detail on, and suddenly it's like, wow, that's a beautiful.
Because it doesn't look like a balloon, especially using the chrome like that as well.
Chrome, yeah.
It does not look like a chrome balloon.
Put that one out the way
So
for
we'll
the
move that out of the
moment.
way because now we're going to be working on threes. You want this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we show that one? I've prepared some blues. and
Actually, not
flavours.
that one. This one.
Which one? Which one?
This one.
Yeah, that one.
This one. Okay.
Let me move that out of the way.
So, this is the next level of this. Well, actually, it's not quite. It's not quite. Sorry, I tell a lie. I jumped a level.
Oh, okay.
This
yeah,
is
do
the
that
next
one
level.
first. But that's
So-
great because that gives me a chance to finish. my
Okay,
painting.
so this is all in chrome silver. Yeah, 260Q chrome silver. And what it is that it's two layers like we did before. But instead of doing two layers of two, this is two layers of three balloons.
And you can see how much more rounder, fuller it is.
Just as an example there, Dom. I know
Good.
our viewers. No, just I'm not going to actually do it. I'm just going to show one of the pre-inflated ones.
Okay, I
just
see.
so that it means. So it's just two layers of three balloons.
So
one on top of the
We'll
other
not do
one.
it, but we'll just hold it. I can't reach
Yeah.
it. So one set of three,
Yes.
another set of three, and then they will be placed over each other, and then
Yeah.
it will be done in just the same manner.
Just
Pull
straight
up,
up.
pull up.
But it just gets a fuller, more fuller version of it, the design. Can you reach that purple one handy?
Yeah.
Or is it? Yeah. Okay, so there you can see the width of the design. Yeah, it's much
also
fuller.
The diameter of it is a rounder shape,
Yes.
rather than the more angular version
Yeah.
of that one as well.
Yeah,
and it's not that one's better than the other.
No, it's just different.
different
And this has got a lot more crush.
Structure.
There's a question in the. There's a lot more structure, a lot more strength.
Yeah, great question that one.
Yeah, Shelley's asked in there. Hello, Shelley. Thank you for joining us. Saying, could this work with a 350Q? Well, actually, we'll show you something that was made with using 350Qs.
Yeah, Shelley,
later.
don't jump ahead, Shelley.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, you're just brushing ahead.
Wait.
Okay. Right, okay. So, the next one that we're going to show is using... Here we go. So, instead of using two sets of three, it's actually three sets of three. So, we're stepping up to another level on there. And you can see again, compared to the two levels of three, you can see the thickness goes up once more. Yeah, it's much fuller piece compared to it, and we've also got this very much spiral pattern going on through the design, which it actually, I mean, it looks fantastic because you've got these.
Looks far more complicated than it is.
Yes, but it looks these three very definitive bands of colour.
Yeah, your brain, or especially to the the end consumer, they're thinking about how's that been done and twisted.
Yeah, they almost think that this has been spiraled round itself,
and then been twisted.
Yeah, and
not
it doesn't work like that, right? We know this.
not this.
But this is absolutely fantastic. But Dom is going to demonstrate how he does this.
I'm gonna move
Yeah,
over.
we should
Let's
have
do
done that.
this
Yeah.
for this one particularly because it kind of needs the desk to show it a bit better. So
There we go. That's started, so you're going to have to stop that. We don't need that now. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to sit here and have a cup of tea.
So we've got 3 sets
I'll
of
see
3.
if anybody has anything in chat.
And these have got 3 colours per layer. Okay, we're going to layer these ones over each other, and we need the colour sequence the same. So whichever sequence you do, make sure each layer that you put on top is of the same sequence. Right, let's see.
Felicia's just joined us. She's a little late, but she's here. Thank you for joining us. Nice to see you. And there, and also we've got Colin in from Canada. He's over there, and Sven. Hello, Sven. We've got loads of people in the chat. It's great to see you guys. It's great to see so many of our members in the chat as well.
Yes.
And I'm seeing a lot of new level members on the blue. So
new icons.
Yeah, did you see that?
I did see that.
Yes. Okay.
We'll have to do something about that.
Yes.
Right, we've got our 3 layers stacked on top of each other. Again, not twisted. That's just it buffering. It'll catch back up again now. You saw the error, then you saw it again.
Yes.
So, we are going to start, as Keith did, from the bottom layer and bring this balloon up. Because we've got multiple layers, you want to make sure you always go in one direction. It doesn't matter which way you go, but it does start the way you're going to make it twist.
Which, by coincidence, is also the name of Dom's favourite band, One Direction. I think. Anyway, I think. No? Okay, come on.
So, bottom layer, and I'm going to bring it clockwise, looking down on it.
Clockwise.
Okay? So, coming out that way, and I'm bringing that red up. The bottom level of the blue, I'm going to do the same. Bring it up, and then you see that one a bit better on screen. I'm taking the bottom level of the yellow, I'm going to bring it forward and bring that up. Okay. So now we've got the bottom layer all joining up, and outside of each of the gaps, because there's 3 gaps, we've got the 2 red, the 2 blue, and the 2 yellow. That's the sequence that we want. This is a little bit more trickier than the 2 balloon version, because you've got to make sure that you equally bubble the 3 different balloons.
Yeah, try to get all 3 of these colours exactly the same length.
Yeah, so it's quite easy to go, I'll put a twist in, but then you've got one chamber that's bigger than the other side. So
and it will make it curve in one direction as well. And
it's hard to fix because you end up with a gap if you don't do it. So we're going to try and push them down onto those 2 layers, so they're going to lock them in position, and then we'll just pop that twist in. Now,
don't pop anything, Tom.
Yeah, you don't want to twist them too much, because you're going to use up too much balloon and you'll end up with nothing left at the end. But don't do it too little that they keep coming undone on you. So now we've done that, we've now lined everything back up again, and we do the same thing. We take the bottom balloon and we take it in the same direction. So to there, bring the blue up, so it's the red up, the blue up, and then the yellow this way.
I've gone anti-clockwise on you, just so you know.
Yeah. So that one.
Because I'm left-handed.
Okay, but so is that red in the wrong direction then?
Yeah, this one, if you want to go clockwise, this one.
Okay.
And then blue, that way.
See, Keith, left-handed people, what can I say?
They're only people in our right minds.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah,
right.
all you left-handers out there.
Again, make sure that those 3 are about the right length. Squeeze and get your own back on, Keith, and twist. If they go out of sequence, you can just bring them over and sort that out. And then we just carry on with the same thing. So we just bring in always the bottom balloon up, and always going in the same direction. So I'm building
the clockwise.
I'm building on what I've already started. So you can see here on the yellow, a bit better for the front, yellow to yellow, and then the bottom one's going to come up to create the next one, so it's going to create that band. So on with that layer, squeeze and twist.
Uwe from Germany says that he loves tack weaving. Yeah, absolutely. Anybody that knows this technique generally loves it. It's just sometimes what happens is you kind of forget about it for a little bit, and then it comes back into memory because you need to use it for something.
Yeah.
And then you end up using, like Dom said before, we tend to use it for quite a bit because it's fresh in our mind. Until another technique that you've learned a while ago that you forgot about comes back in and it takes over. It's.
So you can see now that it's starting to create the band as it's coming round. So there's the yellow, there's the red, there's the blue, because I wasn't watching properly from that side.
Yeah.
There we go, and then the twist. So it is exactly the same technique. It's easier when you keep an eye on it, but you'll see the bands create. So you generally when we're working with it, I'll have it long ways so I can see where the band is, push that layer down, bring it round.
So the band kind of lies down on
Exactly.
here.
So I can see that red there, and I can just push that one in, roll it round, hit the yellow, and push that one in as well. Then you've got everything that you need. Then twist.
I don't, did we get the balloons to do more colours on this or not?
As in,
Like, the big one that we did, just to show. If not, we'll demonstrate it now. The
Yeah.
two-person one. What happens is when you're doing 3 colours, it's not so bad, and when you're just doing 3 layers again, it's not so bad for one
depends
person
on
to do it.
on your hand size as well.
Yeah,
'Cause
and strength and
Yeah.
use. However, what happens is when you get on to doing some more advanced kind of attack weaving, especially when you're dealing with a lot of colours, it kind of gets very big in the hands to be able to hold it and twist it and size it correctly and things, which is where having 2 people really helps. So there's a one that we did, which we'll show you in a second, that having 2 people makes it easier because you just face each other. One person puts it into
one
position.
person would prep it, so I'm checking the band over, so they're just roughly in position, and then I can take those 3 that I've positioned.
And then, because Dom's in a position where he can size it,
And you can put that little bit of pressure
pulling
down.
it against himself, what so he does is he pulls it, and then what I can do is, with this, all I've got to do is focus on twisting it round. So I can twist it round into position and get it ready for the next one.
So
And
I
then
can do colour. When we've got a few more balloons, which is the one we're talking about, is as you push it in, the other person can just hold it kind of so it doesn't come back down on you. So there's the 3.
yeah,
Then
and
you can bring your
get
hand
your pressure
in,
right.
that little bit of a squeeze, and then
Hetty's saying in the chat there as well that this is the first time, this is going to be the first time of her trying on this. Hetty, I know you're going to absolutely love this. You'll get a lot out of it. It really adds to your technique. So
yeah. And just from a kind of a costing point of view, is obviously the more balloons that we introduce into this, it's more of a kind of thinking about your quantity of what you need for cost and also for having the right supplies. That between like a two layered one with just 2 balloons versus a 3 layer one with 3 balloons, it does change how many balloons per foot, if you like, that you're going to use. You can't give a definitive amount because depending on how many twists you do, depending on where you start to inflate the balloon from, it does change that balloon, a good 15-20%. So when you do this, measure a few sections that you've done, so it gives you a bit of an approximation of how many balloons it takes you to do a certain length or section.
Also, this works with 160 Qs as well. I mean, we're doing it in 260 Qs. Do it in 160s, and obviously, with the diameter being a lot smaller, it's much smaller to work with in your hand. You can get some very delicate. We've done basket handles and various other things.
We have got a
The tops
160Q demo. I brought one.
Yeah, here it is.
Just for scale.
There we go.
So same technique, same amount of balloons, same layering, but you can see how cleaner, more delicate and finer
It's delicate,
it looks.
yeah. And it's,
great to practice on though as well, because it's a little bit friendlier on the hands for grabbing a hold of, and you can kind of see the balloons a bit easier. For joining though, this one,
yes.
what you need to do,
If you run out of balloon and you want to keep going,
is plan ahead. So don't take it to the point where there's no balloon left, where you're trying to kind of tie on and make it to the very end of the balloon. You kind of want to do it a bit earlier. I'll show here, but this is obviously too soon. But what you do is you bring up the balloons that you need to join to. So let's pretend these were going to be finished. We'll bring up our red, the yellow and the blue. That one there. And then we put our twist in. Thank you. And then we would assume that these balloons weren't long enough to continue. So we take another set of 3 balloons of the same colour sequence.
Have you got them or not? Or we'll just get to do them. If you haven't got a set,
there's one.
So you just throw them all over the
3.
floor. That's all right. I don't even need them.
Just because it is a very good thing to be able to continue on, but it doesn't restrict what sort of size you give us to. 1. Ha ha ha.
The 160 Qs are stunning. You are right. They're beautiful. We'd love to see what kind of things.
Again.
Oh, did I hit you again? Did I? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
We'd
love to see.
The thing is, as well, we've done them in, the red, the yellow, the blue, and we've done that across the same, the different.
Because the
designs.
Qualitex colours, right?
Well, they are, but it's also a good way of showing the different styles.
Yeah, triadic colour harmony.
you get to see where the twist comes and the patterns that you create. So it's a good fun way of doing it.
I mean, it was a interesting colour choice. So,
It was. I don't know where I got the inspiration.
I have no idea.
So
No idea.
we're pretending that this. Let's move them out the way so people can see what we're talking
Aha.
about. So this layer here is the layer what we're going to join onto. So we're going to bring this new cluster in before we remove the excess balloon off. So we can wrap that in to give the nice clean connection.
And also, it's a solid connection. If you just pull it in once and just twist it over, yes, it's fine, but because you've got the necks there, it can stretch slightly. So, because Dom's taken it in there and really kind of wrapping it in a few times, it's really strong, tight
It
connection.
gives the same sort of connection that we've done throughout, rather than a looser connection with the knots.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So now we can remove the excess. If only we had a handy
If
dandy
only you
cutter.
had a handy cutter.
Be careful if you're
Here,
gonna,
use my handy cutter.
if you're going to pop these, because you don't want this to shred and go all the way down to
Yeah.
the base. So be cautious of that.
One of the handy things you can do is, it's this one, right? Yes.
It is, yeah.
So one of the things you can do is, if you think you're in danger for this splitting all the way down, if you put a twist in the balloon first
Like a safety
and hold that, if this splits, it can only split to this part here. So do that, and then, put the twist in, hold it there, let the air out, then you've got all of this to let the air back into, and then you've got less chance of that balloon splitting all the way down. Somebody's asking about where is it you would like to post pics. On Mr. Q's Facebook page is the most perfect place to do that. If you do it on Instagram, just remember to use the hashtag Q Corner Convention is the best one to do it. And also tag in hashtag Qualitex, that would be great. Fantastic. Or you can tag us in, you can always tag us in with the, I'm trying to remember, it's at Q Corner _show on Instagram. Find us on Instagram anyway and then follow us there. And, yes, absolutely.
So
I hope that helped. Thanks, Shelley.
I've done a double knot there, Keith.
1 second. There we
And
go.
I'm going to trim these off, but I'm not going to trim them off too close. If you do it too close, the chances are it could kind of undo your knot.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, I mean, it's
possible.
unlikely. It's unlikely,
And
but
in this
still.
particular occasion, we don't need to be super neat because these balloons are going to hide it. So leave a
It's
little
going
bit
to be
on
right
there.
in the centre of all that weave.
Yeah, it's
gonna be
hidden,
missing
so
anyway.
that's a bit of security. Okay. So now you can carry on as if you were just using the same balloons. So it just means that it is an infinitely joinable piece.
Gabby in chat is also saying that she tried with a rainbow and it was tough, but it looked fantastic. Right, there we go. Rachel
Yep.
from Pioneers saying the Qualitex Facebook group would be good too.
It's
Post
like-
it wherever you want.
It's like
but-
she knows something about social media. That girl.
I know.
Who knew?
She's some sort of gnu. Sorry, guru. That was it.
Right. So that's the joiner.
Yes, that's the
What else we
three.
got?
And the three, we have the
I love it. I do love the
160Q.
160Q.
Very, very pretty.
And as we said, and you said like a basket handle and stuff.
Yes.
You know, the mould, great.
Yes. We also have, this one kind of looks like a random colour. This is just 2 layers of 3. It's actually exactly the same technique as this silver. We've run over time already.
It's like a
as the
balloon.
chrome. Yeah, because it's all about the
Chain
chrome. About the chrome.
factory.
Yes, but it's really cool as like a carnival colours. There's also different things that you can use for these. But
These
this is
are
the big
building
one.
block elements for everything. That's why we love it.
Before we go on to the absolute last one, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how it's being used in real life. Now, this is probably the most extreme version that we're going to have to do this at full screen at some point, Dom. Actually, if you switches over to the other set, cut over to that one.
Go on then, we'll have that.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then if we
Straight.
slide sideways a bit so that they can see, there we go.
Let's move this.
This is probably the most extreme version that that you will see it ever being used.
It's not something you do every week.
No, it's not what we would call line work.
No.
So here it is. This is an amazing Tiffany lamp sculpture
Called The Lamp.
called The Lamp by the wonderful Sue Bowler. And this is an absolutely massive display. And actually, if you want to see the size of it, the scale with people in it to show you how it is, there's a link in the description on this video. If you're over on if you're on YouTube. There's a link.
I
So
have
you
to
can
say
click it.
though, I mean, it's a great photo and great piece,
Yes.
but it doesn't do it full justice though.
No, it absolutely doesn't. And the thing is, as well, is that all of this part here is tack weave. These spiral here, a tack weave. These are spiral here, a tack weave. And as Shelley said earlier, can you do it with 350 Qs? This was done with 350 Qs, and in fact, if I do it on here, yeah, it's done with 1, 2, 3, 4 layers
yeah.
at the same time.
So 4 layers and double stuffed
Yeah, double stuffed because
to get the colour.
to get the
Sue
colour.
wanted.
Yeah, I
But
think it was
it's
a chocolate
also
brown inside of gold.
been done around a pole, and that's not because it needed the pole. The pole's there for the structure for the top,
For the top.
and the tack weave's been done in a way that can hide the mechanics of that framing.
Yes.
So it's a great,
but again, I'm going to take
great
it back
technique.
to there for doing it. There was the gentleman that actually did the weave part himself had hands of steel. It was Peter Bergen.
Peter
from,
Hands of Steel Bergen.
Yes. And yeah, absolutely hands of steel. It was amazing to see it being done. And if you go over to the link that is in the description on YouTube, there's actually a little video, although it's a little bit low quality now because this was from 2012.
Also, as well, it was for a competition piece,
Yes.
and it's a great venue for the competitions themselves. However, it's not great lighting when you're trying to get finished.
But you can
photos.
see it. You can see the video that's on there. You can actually see it in various. There's a lot of sculptures in that particular video, but you can see it in various different states of being of how it was finished. So yes, absolutely amazing piece by Sue.
Yes,
and it's she. The link is also just hit a chat in Facebook as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Q. We really appreciate that.
We really like that.
And the last piece we want to show you
But
is...
while we're saying thank you for that as well, you know what I'm going to do?
Oh, you're going to put that on there as well, yeah.
I'm going to say thank you to our crew members and our rock stars as well.
Yeah, we really appreciate your support. We love
this.
it. But this is the absolute last one, which is the Pride. Or Rainbow, depends on which way you want to do it. But we did it for Pride.
We did this one to coordinate with the 18-inch Qualitex Pride Heart.
Yes, in fact, the Pride Heart, which if you're in the YouTube chat,
let me hold that. You get that. We
Yeah,
did
it's this
omit one of the colours because we felt it didn't need it for this particular piece. You could have it in if you wanted.
Also, as well as that Twisting 5 was strong enough rather than Twisting 6.
Yeah, and you could do it. You could squeeze it in, but the 5 was manageable as a one person. Although after a few layers, it is easy when you've got a second person to start that twisting in. Just because there's a lot more pressure there from the 5260 Qs. But it's exactly the same technique. We'll be taking each of the colours, taking it up, always going
take
in
our members thing off there so you
the
can see
same
better.
direction. Oh yeah, sorry members.
Thank you very much,
you.
members. We really do appreciate your
We
support.
absolutely do. But we do it in the same way, pushing them in the same direction. So this layer here we would be replacing right now. This is due to be changed because this one's now too short and it's got a few too many bumps in for keeping it nice and clean. But essentially, same technique. We're bringing them over and then we will group them together.
Wrong side of that. Oh no, sorry.
It's always about why it's good having one person do that part because it's easy to get your eye wrong when you do that. But we'd bring them in and then we'd add that squeeze in, then the second person would do the twist on the front. This makes it a little bit easier, especially when you're doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because yes, you can manage it on your own, absolutely, but it does get tiring when you're doing it for a particular piece. But the idea being is, once you've joined 2 or 3 pieces together, that should be seamless.
Yes.
You won't be able to tell
where the one stops and where the next one starts.
Where the gaps
are. It's beautiful.
Watch out for your starting one though.
Yeah.
Make sure that you tie close to the knots and not next to the nozzle, so you don't get a loose one to start with. That's kind of a something that can happen easily if you're in a bit of a hurry. And you can actually make this a full circle if you want.
Yes.
It is a little tricky, but you can rejoin it back up again to get it to piece back in. It does take a little bit of practice to do that because you kind of want to join it and bring it in and tie it, but totally achievable. Just depends on what type of look you're doing. Personally, we tend to cheat those sections. You don't need a seamless look. You can hide it with another mechanic. You can hide it with some clusters, create a transition point to hide that section. but it is possible if you wanted to.
Absolutely. In fact, if you remember our hula hoop designs that we've done in the past, you can create this using tack weave, and you don't even need the hula hoop, because the structure, especially when you do the 3 sets of 3, that structure is strong enough to bring it all the way around and do it into the cluster in the middle, connect it off, put a small cluster in the middle to hide those mechanics, and you've got that brilliant finished technique.
Yeah, do you remember the giant one we did for Japan?
Yes, yes. In fact, yeah, the giant arch for
And the
Japan
chandelier.
and the chandelier. And you also remember the time, also in Italy, but in 2011, that we made a snake. Remember? So we had to decorate
Yes.
an area in
back to me
the
now.
Palafari.
Yes.
Yeah, in the Palafari in
Yeah.
Firenze in Florence, and we had to do. It was a tropical theme, so we had all of these palm trees. Yeah, done.
And we had those distorted
Butterflies
with
on the
heart.
trees,
I haven't
and
done
then
them for ages.
we
as well.
had this giant serpent that kind of was
Yeah.
winding his way.
Have you got pictures?
hunting the monkeys?
No-ish, we haven't.
We do have somewhere, but not on the here. We'll
Not today.
find some.
We will find some. We will post
We'll
some.
share it on our social media. In fact, we'll try and get it on
Why
our
have we
Instagram
not done
or
them
something.
butterflies for ages? See, this is what we talk about. Things that we haven't done for ages. We do a 350Q
Inside,
6-inch
yeah,
heart
inside of a
distorted
6-inch
butterfly.
heart.
Gives
to
a really nice shape.
Distortion, yes. It's really nice.
I
But
think
yes,
I think we should
but we had this
post a little
snake.
members video with that on.
Possibly, yes. But,
Keith will do that tomorrow.
we we need to go because we've run over as
No,
per
never.
usual. We have. And again, a huge thank you to our members, which the names have
Yeah.
already gone up again. Yeah, and they can disappear. We're going to see you guys in 2 weeks for the first of our
Part
3-part
one.
special.
Of 3.
Yes.
It's a 3-part
and-
series. Got to watch it in order. There's
Yes.
a test at the end.
And
isn't.
we can't wait to see your pictures. Yeah, just get them on through all the different Qualitex social media platforms. Remember to tag us in as much as you possibly can, and don't stop the weaving.
See you in 2 weeks, guys.
Yeah, because it's all about the chrome.
Bye.
About the chrome. No trouble.